Welcome and thank you for joining the City of Bunbury's Grant Information Session. I'm Caddy, the Grants Officer, and in this session I'll be showcasing the City's new grant funding program for 2022. I ask if you could have your microphones muted and cameras off through the session. This has been a pre-recorded session and you'll be able to rewatch it on the City's website under the Grants page. If you'd like to ask a question, please do so in the chat box and we will respond. There will also be a question and answer session at the end if you prefer. The City of Bunbury acknowledges the traditional owners of the land, the Wadandi Noongar people, and pays respect to elders past, present and emerging. The grant information session will cover the new categories, eligible applicants, what the City will fund, matched funding, sourcing additional funding, our funding rounds, COVID and grants, assessment process and scoring matrix, acquittals and tips for applying. The new grant program. This includes new categories, we've amended funding limits, better accessibilities for applicants, and an improved assessment process. All of this aligns with the City's new strategic community plan. We collaborated with key stakeholders and the Bunbury Event Advisory Committee. The grants team have redefined the purpose of the grant program, and it is to welcome initiatives that promote Bunbury as a place to live, visit, and invest. The program is divided into 4 categories, each with their own defined purpose, eligibility and criteria. As below, the new categories are Community Connection. This has subcategories of Community Connect and Neighbourhood Connect. We have Signature Events, a Bunbury Brighter category, and Achievement. The purpose of the Community Connect category is to create a highly engaged community to participate in a wide range of opportunities that make them feel welcome and connected. The initiatives could be through community events, theatre, film, arts, murals, artist in residence, music, circus, culture, sporting, or health and wellness initiatives. There are 2 tiers of funding with different funding limits and both require matched funding. You'll notice the dot points below are the criteria of how the initiative fits into the community category. These are all available in the grant guideline document that is accessible on the City's website under the grants page. Examples of past initiatives we have funded that would meet the criteria of this category are Bunbury Summer School, Rotary Sail into Life, and Driving to Make a Difference program. The purpose of the Neighbourhood Connect is to strengthen and support our residents to develop a sense of safety and connection through community initiatives in their neighbourhood. There are 2 tiers of funding with different funding limits and both do not require matched funding. You'll notice the dot points below are the criteria of how the initiative fits into the category. These are all available in the grant guideline documents. Examples of past initiatives we have funded that would meet the criteria are neighbourhood barbecues and movie events, safety initiatives within the local neighbourhood. Signature events. The purpose of this category is to promote Bunbury as a thriving and premier destination for significant events, driving people to come visit Bunbury and spend time in the region. There are 2 tiers of funding with different funding limits and both require match funding. You'll notice the dot points below are the criteria of how an event fits into the signature events category. These are available in the grant guideline document. Examples of past events we have funded that would meet criteria for Tier 1 would be Southwest Festival of Japan, City Classic Triathlon and other sporting events, and Bunbury International Film Festival. Examples of past events that we have funded that would meet the criteria of Tier 2 would be Bunbury Fringe, Cinefest Oz, and Lost and Found Festival. Bunbury Brighter. The Bunbury Brighter category is new and by invitation to apply. The purpose is to celebrate Bunbury through sharing of local stories, its connection with culture and history, and showcasing the natural beauty that the city has to offer. You'll notice with the dot points below the criteria of how the initiative fits into the category. These are all available in the grant guideline document. As this is a new category for the Grant Program. We welcome any potential applicants with ideas to contact the grants team to discuss. The achievement category may be recognisable as a component of the existing minor community grants. We redefine this small grant to just include the achievement aspect. The purpose of this category is to support members of the community who exemplify excellence to proudly represent and promote Bunbury in a positive manner. You'll notice the dot points below are how an application would meet this category. These are all available in the grant guideline document. Examples of past initiatives we have funded that would meet the criteria are individuals who excel in their sport and represent on a regional, state, interstate and international level. We've supported Bunbury-based teams that have been chosen to represent the Southwest. Moving on to eligible applicants. When you identify the type of applicant you are, you will see below which categories you are able to apply for. Incorporated not-for-profit organisations can apply to Community Connect, Neighbourhood Connect, Signature Events, Bunbury Brighter and Achievement categories. Registered businesses with an ABN can apply to the Community Connect, Signature Events and Bunbury Brighter categories. Applicants who are auspiced by an incorporated not-for-profit organisation may apply to the Community Connect and Neighbourhood Connect category. If you're an individual applicant with no auspice, you may apply to the Neighbourhood Connect or Achievement category. Ineligible applicants: the Commonwealth, state, local and any government agencies, an individual without an Australian ABN, an applicant with any outstanding debts to the City of Bunbury, an applicant that has failed to provide the satisfactory acquittal reporting for any previous City of Bunbury funding, and an applicant that has received funding from the City of Bunbury for the same initiative within the same financial year or annual grant program. General eligibility. Applicants are required to match funding in some categories. An example of this would be if a project is costing $4,000, the City would be able to fund $2,000, being 50% of it, and the applicant would be required to match the $2,000 funding. Auspiced applicants and not-for-profit organisations may match the funding to a maximum of 25% being in-kind services. This must be calculated at $30 an hour. The rest of the funding that they're matching, so the 75%, would be required to be in cash. An example would be, for the previous $2,000 matched, $500 would be in kind, time, calculated at $30 an hour, and the rest of the funding would be $1,500 in cash. Businesses must match the amount of funding being requested with cash. Applicants must submit their applications via Smarty Grants within the grant funding round, and no late submissions would be accepted. Applicants must have the appropriate insurance and licenses to conduct the relevant work, and they should ensure that they comply with all COVID-19 regulations for the planning and delivery of the event or initiative. Continuing on, the applicant must ensure the initiative or significant portion of it takes place within the City of Bunbury boundaries. They should ensure the initiatives for Round 1 funding take place between the 1st of September 2022 to the 30th of May 2023, and for initiatives in Round 2 funding take place between the 1st of May 2023 to the 31st of August 2023. Applicants should ensure that initiatives are open to the general public and accessible, that the initiative promotes the City of Bunbury in a positive manner, and that they only apply to one category for their initiative. They are encouraged to discuss the initiatives with the member of the grants team prior to submission and submit an acquittal within 12 weeks from the completion date. Applicants ask us, what do we fund? Below is a list of items considered for funding with your application. The changes we have had this year are coordinator fees relating to the specific event or activity are capped at 50% of the total funding requested from the City, capital purchases and equipment up to $2,000 funding, and that the in-kind services will be paid in cash. You are required to request a written quote from the city for the services that we can provide, and then this will be included with your application. Below is a list of items that the city will not consider for funding. The main ones being capital purchases and equipment over $2,000, prize award or sponsorship money, day-to-day operational funding for applicants, including but not limited to ongoing classes, open days, sales or special occasions with the aim to profit the applicant, initiatives that fall outside the date range when listed in the application, initiatives that have already been started, applicants that have not acquitted previous funding applications or have outstanding debts to the city, initiatives that have already received funding or support from the City of Bunbury in the relevant financial year. Please speak to the grants team at the city about the items you're considering requesting funds for. Matched funding. The following categories require the applicant to display matched funding, with Community Connect and Signature Events requiring 50% matched funding and Bunbury Brighter category requiring 25% matched funding. Applicants that are an incorporated not-for-profit organisation or individuals who are auspiced by an incorporated not-for-profit organisation are able to match funding to a maximum of 25% of in-kind time. This should be calculated at $30 an hour, and the rest of the matched funding, being 75%, should be demonstrated in cash. Applicants that are registered with an ABN are required to match the funds 100% with cash. There's ways to match funding. Applicants can use their own cash, they can secure grants from other organisations, or with proof they can provide sponsorship or donations. Additional funding. The following categories require applicants to secure funding from additional sources: Community Connect and Signature Events. By securing additional funding sources, applicants will receive a higher score for their submissions. Where can you find additional sources? We're often asked. The Bunbury Grant Finder website is an extensive list that applicants can access. There's also a list of common funding sources located on the city's website with the below link, and it's also imperative that you develop and build ongoing partnerships with local organisations and businesses. This grant program, we have made funding more accessible with multiple rounds for some categories. Community Connect has 2 rounds. The first round opens on the 20th of April and closes on the 1st of June 2022. This is for initiatives between the 1st of September to the 31st of May 2023. The second round opens later in the year for initiatives between the 1st of May 2023 to the 31st of August 2023. Neighbourhood Connect is open all year round, with the round opening on the 1st of June 2022 and closing on the 31st of May 2023. This is for initiatives between the 1st of July 2022 to the 30th of June 2023. Bunbury Brighter has expressions of interest round open on the 20th of April and closing on the 20th of July 2022. This is for initiatives between the 1st of December 2022 to the 31st of August 2023. Achievement is open all year round, opening on the 1st of June 2022 and closing on the 31st of May 2023. This is for initiatives between the 1st of July 2022 to the 30th of June 2023. Signature Events for Tier 1 has 2 rounds, the first round opening on the 20th of April 2022 and closing on the 1st of June 2022. This is for initiatives from the 1st of September 2022 through to the 31st of May 2023. The second round will open later in the year and close in December for initiatives from the 1st of May 2023 to the 31st of August 2023. Signature Events in Tier 2 has 1 round opening. This opens on the 20th of April and closes on the 1st of June 2022. This is for initiatives between the 1st of September 2022 to the 31st of August 2023. COVID and funding. Applicants are required to meet all COVID guidelines and directives as advised by the State Government of Western Australia. Occasionally these can change, and we ask the applicants factor this into their planning process. When planning your initiative, please keep in mind the following relating to COVID and cancelling of events. If the applicant cancels the event at their discretion, the City will request the return of grant funds in full. Should the event be forced to cancel as a result of a COVID lockdown or emergency situation enforced by the state government, the applicant shall be entitled to funds that have been approved in the grant agreement, the funds that have been spent up until receiving written notification from the City, funds that have had proof of invoice, and acquitting all funds spent up until the date of this correspondence. Any unspent funds would be required to be returned to the City. The City looks to work with applicants to ensure events and initiatives can be delivered in these hard times. Please talk to the grants team if you are having any problems. The assessment process. Applications will be assessed by a minimum of 3-person assessment panel in a competitive round against all other applicants in the funding category. Successful applications are those that best satisfy the assessment criteria and rank highest with the scoring matrix. Through assessment, the application may be recommended for partial funding. This decision is carefully considered with the view of maintaining the integrity of the initiative. The City of Bunbury also reserve the right to request further information in considering an application, as well as the right to reject any application that does not meet the eligibility criteria. The final decision of funding allocation lies with the Chief Executive Officer through delegated authority, and applicants may not request an appeal. The scoring matrix is a new tool the City will use to assist with the evaluation process. Eligible applicants will be scored against a criteria that supports the outcomes of the grant category they have applied for. The scoring matrix is available on the grants page of the City of Bunbury website. Applicants are encouraged to view the category relating to their initiative or event and to see what will assist them in achieving the highest possible score. Successful applicants will be provided with a grant agreement for signing. Payment of funds will be in accordance with the details listed in the grant agreement. Successful applicants are required to adhere to the terms listed in the grant agreement, and any changes to the event or initiative must be discussed with the City first. If grant funds are returned or unallocated, an additional round may be advertised. The acquittal process. Successful applicants are required to complete an acquittal via Smarty Grants. Acquittals are due 12 weeks from the completion of the event or the initiative, or by the 30th of June 2023, whichever comes first. Submitting an acquittal on time will ensure the future grant applications will be scored higher in the assessment process. A tip is to look at the acquittal and the questions we ask, and ensure that you collect this data and information as you run your event or initiative. We've included some tips for applying. Contact the grants team to discuss the proposed event or initiative and the correct category you are looking to apply for. Read the application early and understand what is required to submit a complete application. This may include ensuring quotes for services over $2,000, also quotes from the City of Bunbury for our services, use the scoring matrix to ensure a high quality application is submitted, ensure a detailed budget has been completed factoring in all aspects of the event or initiative, and submit the application early to avoid leaving it too late. How to apply. If you log on to bunbury.smartygrants.com.au, you will be able to log in or register an account. Please select the grant category and begin your application. Applications for round 1 close on the 1st of June 2022. Please type any questions you have in the question box and they will be addressed by the grants officer. Potential applicants are encouraged to discuss their initiatives for their grant with the team prior to submitting their application, and you can always contact us on 9792 7033 or grants@bunbury.wa.gov.au.